Howdy doody people, it is Sloans for episode number 2 of my formation flying tutorial-y kind of training thing. We'll use that as the technical term. Today, first of all, I want to show off a new skin that I've just finished, which is for our... Actually, I'll show you once again the sky, because then you can have a look underneath. So I'll take off again using the same mission as I made yesterday, which was a tanker, which is over there, somewhere there, flying, and then basically I'm going to go and try and fly near it in a formation kind of situation. So I'll take off, and once the landing gear is up, I shall show you the skin I've been working on for us lot. So I'll pause it onto this view, and there it is. So yeah, I think it looks pretty sweet. Hopefully you guys like it, let us know. I will probably be looking at maybe making some skins for sort of the public in the near future. I've only been kind of learning how to do it for about 2 or 3 days, but I'm quite happy with what I'm starting to come up with. So first of all, things that I've changed since the last video is I've changed the curve on my throttle. Hopefully with the new curve that I've put on there, it should be a little bit less sensitive than what it was previously. It was a bit of a... well, I don't know. I don't know whether it is the curve. I literally have not flown any jet or any plane. I haven't even played DCS since I changed the curve. I done it last night after I come offline after playing a little bit on the virtual aerobatic server. So I haven't tested it. I don't know what it's going to be like. I suppose we'll find out. Worst case scenario is I'll just put it back to the way it was. It's not really an issue, to be honest. So yeah, so I'm aiming for this one to not be particularly too much of a long video. I'll just start off the timer on my X52, and hopefully I'm going to do alright this time. I was fairly happy with how I done yesterday, bearing in mind that was kind of my second attempt at trying to fly formation. Not great, but not horrendous. I actually got close to him at one point, which is always good. I have changed the path a little bit of the tanker, because previously I had him going inland after he'd done a kind of long straight run. What I found was, because I'd set the altitude, and I'm not 100% sure on the editor yet, he was maintaining that altitude over the mountains as well, which meant he was up and down all the time and impossible to try and keep track of. So yeah, I've basically put a straight flight up in the water, above the water should I say, turn around and come back. That's basically what he's going to do. So yeah, so other than that really, like I say, I had a little bit of a bash on the virtual aerobatic server yesterday. Tried to join in people's formation, couldn't really catch anyone up because they were using MiGs and F-15s and MiG-21s. And then when anyone joined me, as I said yesterday, it doesn't really help me improve at all when other people are kind of joining me, rather than me trying to join in with them. So we're approaching pretty quick. So we'll give it a whirl. The throttle, I haven't had a chance, like I said, to test it yet. I did get a couple of tips from one of the guys who, from the guy who runs the Cobalt Jet team, about basically making constant adjustments to the throttle. That's what I should be doing, apparently. Shouldn't really be taking my hand off the throttle. So that is what I'm basically going to practice and see how I get on with that today. One thing I have noticed though is changing this curve already, it's kind of put us back, because I'm making tiny adjustments, and it's quite clear that I need to make bigger adjustments than what I am. So We'll be a bit less subtle with it this time. See how I get on. He said to trim up and whatnot as well. He dropped us an email after watching my last video with a few tips, so which is apparently why I'm kind of bobbing around so much, because I'm not trimming, I'm using the actual joystick, so I'll try and give that a whirl as well. I am trimming at the minute to try and kind of match him, but do seem to be going a little bit too high, so yeah, I am happy with, to be honest, so far how close I've managed to get to him fairly quickly. Yesterday I think I was about 10 minutes into the video, if not further, before I managed to get this close, so I have improved since yesterday, but we need to keep the improvements going. One thing I might have to do, to be honest, is adjust the curves a little bit more on the joystick, so it's not as sensitive, because although I have dropped it down, so it's not as sensitive as it was the first time I tried to do it, it is still fairly sensitive when I'm up close. I don't know if that's normal and it's just me being a bit heavy-handed or what. Not sure, to be honest with you. So we have got to practice tonight, so I will ask him about it. We are going to practice kind of circling around our chosen landing strip, recognising ground monuments and things like that, so we know roughly where we are. So I'm matching the speed a lot better, to be honest, with the throttle curve changed. I can be a lot more sort of rough with the throttle without causing a major jerk reaction from where I'm gaining a lot of speed quickly or losing a lot of speed quickly. I can move it a bit more than what I could yesterday without really overshooting or whatever, so I'm quite pleased with that. So yeah, I've pretty much matched him about as perfectly as I'm going to get. I can probably get well, I can get a lot closer than that, but what I'm going to do, because my main aim is to kind of learn when I'm joining, is to kind of match speed as I join the formation. So I'm going to fly out of his way a little bit, and then I'm going to come back in and see if I can do it again. Anyone who watched the first video, I don't know whether it's got many views or anything. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't really checked. Thanks for watching. I hope it helped. If it does or doesn't help, just let us know. If it's something that you want us to do, if there's anything else that you want us to try, or even anyone who's kind of experienced in this that has some advice that would help, stick it in the comments, and I will take, at this point, I'll take any advice on board. I'm not great at it. I'm not very good at, well, in fact, I'm not good at it at all, to be honest. So anything that will help, I will try. So don't be afraid to stick something in the comments if you've done something or someone taught you something that was pretty invaluable when it comes to learning how to formation fly. Then I'm all up on that sort of stuff. I'm game for listening and taking on board any advice, to be honest with you. So I've got full throttle. I'm catching him, catching very quickly, in fact. Put the air brake on, slow myself down. Am I slowing enough? Air brake off, throttle up a little bit, throttle down, throttle up again as I slow. Yeah, I'm a lot happier with this, to be honest, with this curve on the throttle that I've put on there. Generally before I was kind of full throttle constantly because I was flying MiG-21s or the Hawk solo, not trying to get close to anyone or no, to be honest, there was no subtle movements at all. Everything was about going as fast as I can, as low as I can, and I thought it was fine, which, to be honest, it is fine for that kind of stuff, the normal curve. But if you're looking for a little bit more finesse, which is exactly what I needed, I need all the help I can get, to be honest, then this has worked very, very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can get right on his tail and see how long I can stay there for. Track IR's skitzing out a little bit because the sun's shining behind us. Yeah, I am a lot happier with this actually. This has helped quite a bit. Don't know why I didn't think of that first. Yes, I am still bobbing around, and yes, I'm not great at it still, but believe me when I say this, if you haven't watched the first video, this is a huge improvement since yesterday, and that's all I want. If I can improve by this much every day, I'm happy with that. I will put in the practice, so fingers crossed I can continue improving like this. So that one went well. I'm going to bear left again, give him some space. I'm going to come back in for one more try, see how I get on with that. Them wings look awesome. And then providing this one goes okay as well, I shall head back and land this little baby. Where we're at 1.1, 1 kilometre away. And I know people will probably say, well, it's flying in a perfectly straight line at the exact same speed. That is true, but to be honest with you, I couldn't even get close to it when I was doing this before, so this is a good bit of practice for me. Once I've gotten this, then what I can do is I can set waypoints for the tanker to head to, and then from there I can kind of try and maintain my course and formation as it's turning and as it's kind of taking off in different directions and such. But at the minute I am just purely trying to figure out how to join a formation, hopefully nice and quick, without overshooting. Oops, that one didn't go so well. Managed to avoid him and not crash, which is always a bonus. A little tap on the air brake as I approach too hot again. Yeah, like I say, I know I overshot that one, almost had a collision, then went in a bit too low and a bit too quick and stuff like that, but this is better. I'm happier, a lot happier to be honest with this. Quite pleased. Air brake is generally my sort of weapon of choice. It does slow you down quite quickly, so if you want to kind of try and bomb on and join the formation pretty quick when your speed's a bit too much, air brake tends to, or it seems for me like it works quite well like that. The only problem with that though is then you've got to instantly be able to kind of judge where your throttle needs to be to pick that airspeed back up and maintain the same speed as what the formation is. Obviously that's probably the hardest part. You can also just throttle down, which is another sort of technique that I've used a few times now, which does work a lot better. So if you come in quite hot, air brake early, this is kind of me just saying what I think works for me, so don't take this as gospel by any means. If you've watched the videos, you'll know not, to be honest, to use anything I say as gospel, but that seems to work for me so far. I'm happy with it. I come in hot, air brake, slow down a little bit in advance till I can see myself almost matching the airspeed of the other jet or the plane. Leave the throttle at the position it was before I put the air brake on, which is then going to give us a bit of a boost of speed once I take the air brake off. As soon as I take the air brake off, push on a little bit, and generally that seems to be alright, to be honest. So what we'll do while I'm looking for an airport is we'll have a look at the skin again as I fly, because I love it. It looks awesome. There you go. Like I say, skin wise, I will be probably, well, I have made quite a few that are kind of more for personal use. What I'm debating is whether to make any full-on sort of replicas of actual military skins that are not included already in the game for like the MiG-21, I think it was a Saudi Air Force. I'm not sure, to be honest, I haven't looked to see whether it's in the game, but I was just on the internet last night and seen a Saudi Air Force livery on a MiG-21 and it looked sweet. So I have kind of been thinking of that, as to whether it might be something worth doing. I'm not sure. So I probably will give that a whirl, see kind of how that gets on, and then obviously from there I can have a look at other skins and things like that. What I would recommend for this, to be honest, if you're struggling with formation flying, obviously this has just helped me, not necessarily going to help everyone, and people will be a lot better at it or a lot worse at it initially than I was. The first thing that's helped us quite a bit, and I probably still need to tweak a little bit more, is the joystick curve. You can find that under your axis tune for the joystick, well, for your controls, and obviously the throttle curve is assisted a lot as well. To be honest, that has made a massive difference to me. If anyone watches, or if you haven't watched the first video from yesterday, give it a watch and have a look. You should be able to see the difference of that has made to my sort of being able to match speed compared to yesterday. Yesterday I was alright once, maybe out of 3 attempts. I got fairly close to the others. I was kind of slowing down too much, speeding up too much, slowing down too much, constantly doing that. This time I know it wasn't perfect, it was far from perfect, but it was a lot better than yesterday. What I'm debating doing as well is during practice tonight, although sort of I won't be kind of shitting on like I am now, talking about random stuff while I'm flying, you will kind of hear the guys communicating to me, and kind of it might give you a rough I mean, I have no idea what to expect for tonight. We're apparently flying around airport, or the chosen airfield. I think he said he's changed it since last time, and what we're going to do from there is kind of pick out landmarks and things so you know the location of where you are in sort of regards to the airfield. So you know, by, for example, circling this town to the right, it is the airfield will be at such and such direction course from you. And then also, obviously, I want to put into the practice what I'll be doing for the rest of the day, or for some of today. Basically what I've been learning in regards to the formation flying, and see how hard it is against a jet that's not as big as a fueling tank. Obviously Hawks are quite a bit smaller than a refueling tanker, so obviously I need to kind of put that into practice with the guys, and I'll get some more kind of advice from them, what they think, what I should do, and then I'll obviously feed that back to you guys tomorrow, when I probably will do my next video, to be honest. If I constantly practice today, I may do another video at some point today, but probably not, because I will be doing the one tonight, providing it doesn't affect frame rate while I've got other sort of players in their jets in the sky as well. We'll see. I'll try the recording out, see how I get on, and then obviously we'll take it from there, see what we want to do. But that is about it for this video, so thanks for watching again. Feel free to leave comments, subscribe if you want to, like or dislike, let us know what you think of it, if you've got any tips or advice, if you like the skin, if you hate the skin, anything at all that you see in the video that you want to comment, whether it's good or bad, let us know. I'm only going to kind of improve my flying and my sort of videos by other people letting us know what they kind of think of the videos. So yeah, I've been Chris Sloan, thanks for watching.